Welcome to another offline video. For this game, we'll be playing against Benj using Spider-Man, a 15 HP solo fighter from the Brains and Bronze set with the unique ability of knowing the value of enemy cards. I'll be playing as Bigfoot, a tanky powerhouse from the Bigfoot vs Robin Hood set who has 5 feints and many massive attacks. We're back at the August PlayCafe tournament. To start, I maneuver and send Jackalope in to attack Spider-Man. Jackalope attacks with a disengage into a right in the face, attempting to shift initiative. When you start the game as player 1 and both players maneuver in place non-stop, player 1 naturally fatigues out first. This is unless the use passes, of which attacking without drawing cards or gaining actions is 1. Spider-Man double maneuvers to the center of the map, although he could move 1 space closer to the trizone and be in a better position. If you're aware of general community consensus, Spider-Man is usually considered as one of the weakest fighters in the game. This is because of his lack of feints and awkwardness of drawing ability. He draws a lot for someone who has a hard time being aggressive. I double maneuver myself and hide with Jackalope in one corner of Sherwood Forest. Since Spider-Man double maneuvered initially, we now both have 7 cards. However, it's his turn now. Spider-Man boosts in using a with great power, one of the 3 boost cards in his deck. Right next to both Jackalope and Bigfoot, he thinks about who to attack. He then attacks Jackalope using a twip, which I defend with an It's Just Your Imagination, taking 1. I do get to stop Spider-Man from kiting away, but I still take 1 damage. Spider-Man's printed values are weirdly high. I play an attack and declare that the value of the card is a 2. If you're aware of Bigfoot's deck, it can literally only be 1 card. Spider-Man takes the hit, taking 2 from the offensive feint. I'm still trying to shift initiative, which I can do by attack maneuvering. If Spider-Man wasn't a move tree himself, this would be much more effective. Spider-Man maneuvers in the opposite direction, trying to reclaim center. Where we currently are, Spider-Man only needs to use a boost 1 to reach either one of us. That's better than him not needing to boost at all, but I want to make it harder for him to decide what to boost with. I do a maneuver. Now, Spider-Man needs a boost 2 at least. Then, I play Crash to the trees to move a bit further away. Bigfoot has 5 passes, so he has a decent fatigue game if Jackalope survives to play all 3 horns. Since Crash only moves Bigfoot, that does mean Jackalope gets left behind. Spider-Man boosts with his arming shot. He can reach Bigfoot here, but decides to go after Jackalope instead. Generally, when playing against Bigfoot, you do everything in your power to defeat Jackalope before he gets to play all 3 of his Jackalope horns. If you can do that successfully, your chances of winning go up significantly. Spider-Man attacks Jackalope with a twip into a skirmish. Both cards have after combat movement effects that rely on winning the combat, but Defender wins when tied so skirmish activates. I decide to get Jackalope out of there and move him twice. For my turn, I do a double maneuver and place Bigfoot just 1 maneuver away. Spider-Man responds by playing Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, healing 3 HP and getting to place Spider-Man in any space in his zone. It became clear I've made a positioning error with this placement, and should have placed Bigfoot in the brown space next to the green-brown space. I positioned like this wanting Spider-Man to boost to reach me, but I forgot to take the scheme into consideration. Spider-Man attacks with a swinging kick into a skirmish. I take 2, which is the best interaction I could have had. Better this than just take a 4 if I defend with the feint. Spider-Man can make me move 2 spaces with swinging kick's effect, however decides to just let me be. I attack with larger than life into web shooters and Spider-Man only takes 2 damage. Effectively, he's defending with the 4. In hindsight, he was baiting me to attack. But it's not like you can really play mind games against Spidey as Bigfoot. I then decide to maneuver away, trying to kite Spider-Man. However, Spider-Man doesn't take the bait and goes off to the other side of the board. I remember as we played this game that we kept checking our decks over and over, and I kept seeing Spider-Man have the deck lead. Feeling pressured and with no Jackalope horns in sight, I maneuver boost with a savagery and send Jackalope in. Jackalope attacks with a tree, which can only be momentous shift. Spider-Man defends with a counter attack, meaning both fighters take 2 damage from the combat. This is annoying obviously, since I still need to find and use the other Jackalope horns. Jackalope sits next to Spider-Man, a rare opportunity for him. Usually, I like playing horns first action then maneuvering second action when I get the chance. Spider-Man then attacks with a swinging kick into a hoax from Jackalope. Just like that, Jackalope is on life support. If Spider-Man can take Jackalope out before I find the other Jackalope horns, this game won't be looking too good for me. I use the hoax after combat to send Jackalope back behind Brother Bigfoot. Spider-Man moves Jackalope a bit with Singing Kick's effect, but it doesn't really do anything. For my turn, I just do a double maneuver, moving to one corner of the board. It will take a boost tree from Spider-Man to reach me here, or another use of his scheme. Deciding that he either can't or doesn't want to do either, he double maneuvers towards the center-ish of the board. I just double maneuver and move a bit upwards, so I'm in a better position to chase Spider-Man later on and to block off Jackalope. I overdraw and discard a regroup. Spider-Man plays the second copy of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, healing Tree and allowing himself to be placed anywhere in his zone. There really isn't many places for me to hide if I want to protect both Bigfoot and Jackalope from Spider-Man here, so I'm prepared to take a hit from Spider-Man if needed. Instead, he places himself a bit further up one space above the Tri-Zone. I maneuver and boost with the feint. Then, I attack with a larger than life. Spider-Man knows the value of the card, so I just play it face up. He defends with another web shooters, which is perfect for him. Spider-Man thinks about what to do before deciding to attack. You might have guessed already, but Bigfoot's 5 feints are really awkward to play in defense against Spidey. He plays a disarming shot into when it's just your imagination, meaning I take 1 damage and conveniently for Spider-Man he doesn't draw a card. I think at this point it's very obvious what I've been trying to play towards. Benj, the Spider-Man player, has recognized it and adapted incredibly well. Case in point, he maneuver boosts with Spider-Sense Tingling, since he doesn't care at all about drawing cards anymore in this game. Rather than waste a card by boosting right now, I decide to just maneuver away from Spider-Man. If I'll be boosting in, I thought that I could do it later anyways, and Spider-Man might get antsy and decide to come to me. I'm also still looking for Jackalope horns to make sure Jackalope doesn't go wasted. If I don't get to use all 3, I'm definitely in massive danger of losing this match. Thankfully, I do get to find and use the Jackalope horns. I only need 1 more now before I'm okay with Jackalope dying. I boost away a regroup to get Jackalope back to safety. I always try to make sure that Jack is either out of boost maneuver range, or Spider-Man will need the boost tree to get to him. Spider-Man boosts with a Spider-Sense Tingling to get to range of Bigfoot. Spider-Man attacks with a Twip into my skirmish. Defender wins the combat, but I decide to just keep him there since I want to attack maneuver. Once again, I attack with a 2, which can only be feint. Feint overall feels like an awful defense against Spider-Man, since he doesn't have many good effects but does have high printed values. Benj defends with a snark, meaning he both takes no damage and stops the draw effect. I maneuver away 1 step, keeping Jackalope safely behind me, unless Spider-Man uses a boost tree. Spider-Man takes a little nudge forward and attacks. He plays a momentous shift into my hoax, meaning I take 1 damage. I debate on using the after combat effect of hoax, since I might want to attack first as I've been doing in this match. I decide to back off, not feeling confident with doing an attack maneuver at this point. I believe I didn't have good defenses in my hand here. At this point, Spidey is still ahead in deck count, which is bewildering. I position like this so that reaching Jackalope is a lot harder for Spidey. Even though it's only 1 maneuver away, Spider-Man backs off. At this point, I'm confused and I don't know what the hell is going on, if that wasn't obvious already. Feeling pressured, I maneuver boost in with a savagery. Then, I attack with a disengage into Spider-Man's counter-attack. It's a very annoying interaction for me, since Spider-Man basically perfectly defends and still meets counter-attack's effect condition. So, I take 2 damage and Spider-Man takes 1, and I get to move back in front of Jackalope. Spider-Man inches forward and plays an attack. He attacks with a right in the face into my hoax. His card basically acts as a blank 4, and my hoax activates, taking me further away from the fight. I play a Jackalope horns immediately after, meaning I get to take max value from Jackalope before he gets defeated. At this point, Jackalope can die. But in some matchups, Jackalope can still be an important fighter. Jackalope can play all of Bigfoot's cards except for the 6 and Savagery, so he acts as a mini extension of him. Spider-Man attacks Jackalope with a spider sense tingling, which I take. If I knew what he was playing, I would have loved to full block this to make him draw, but I'm not sure what defenses I have left at this point in the game. For his second action, Spider-Man maneuvers one space to the left, meaning he only needs a boost 1 to reach me if I stay put. I double maneuver in place too, though rewatching this I think I should have moved twice upwards, so that Spidey needs to use at least a boost 2. But I think I'm also wary of the fatigue mat at this point, and don't know if I win the match if I just maneuver away. Spidey maneuver boosts with a snark, discarding another draw effect card. Then, he attacks with the wall crawler into my momentous shift, a defense you never really want to have to use. Spidey gets to move away, basically kiting with advantage. If I want to attack him now, it will be on his terms. I'll just say, I knew Spidey could win this matchup, but I seriously didn't think it would be this hard to play. Instead, I decide to double maneuver away, trying to make some space. I draw my last card and enter Fatigue. The next turns are absolutely crucial, so we start thinking about them a bit longer. Since I'm so far away and impossible for Spidey to reach this turn, he double maneuvers to the center, drawing his last 2 cards. He too has entered Fatigue. I want you to stop the video here and try to guess who might win. Try to do some Fatigue math because it's going to be relevant. Okay, let's go. On my turn, I do a maneuver then play Crash to the Trees as a pass. Spider-Man in turn does the only thing that makes sense, which is to double maneuver to the center of the map. He is now exactly 5 spaces at least from any other space. He also takes 4 damage and fatigue, bringing him down to 3 HP. So, let's take a moment to analyze the situation here. It's my turn and I have a 6, a Savagery, a Regroup, and a Momentous Shift. Spider-Man has 1 more Web Shooters, a Swinging Kick, and a Momentous Shift. The other cards don't really matter anymore. Both fighters are decked out. I have no more passes and I have 2 things I can do. For 1, I can double maneuver in place and take 4 damage. Spider-Man will then maneuver boost and hit me with a 6, push me away with the after combat, and I die the following turn from fatigue. I lose the game. Alternatively, I can maneuver boost towards Spider-Man and attack with a 6. Spider-Man will then defend with the Web Shooters, going down to 1 HP. He then attacks me twice in whatever order he wants to, and I die from combat damage. I also lose the game. No matter what I do, I lose the game. This revelation took me about 10 minutes, and you can see the camera change because my phone actually dies. I take so long looking over at the board state, wondering how the hell I got to this situation. There were so many interactions this game. Times I could have attacked when I ran, and times I could have ran when I attacked. Everything leads to this situation where I lose no matter what I do. I really hope people watching this don't point out something I could have done different here at the end to win the game guaranteed. I'm sure I didn't play this the best I could have, but this match made me think that Spidey might not be so horrible. Between the 2 options, I decide to end things the right way. In a choreographed sequence of actions, I boost with a regroup then attack with a 6. Spidey defends with Web Shooters going down to 1. Then, he attacks with his own 6 and I defend with Momentos. And then, he attacks again, which I have to take. I lost the Houdini set over this game. Massive props to Benj for his excellent gameplay. This game single-handedly made me think of Spider-Man a bit more positively. And now finally this game is out to the public, and I hope you all enjoyed watching me lose. If you'd like to support the channel, you can check out my Buy Me a Coffee or my Pixel by ePlayment pages down below. And if you like the content you just saw, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Like and subscribe, and see you next time.